Hey besties, welcome or welcome back. Today we're going to take some dollar store napkins and do some awesome hacks. I used another thrifted piece from the Goodwill. It's just this little sign. It was $3 and it's made out of like tin, and then it's got a little bottle in that holder. I'm also going to use some lace and a couple of napkins that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to clean this with some rubbing alcohol to make sure that it's nice and smooth. And I'm just going to remove the plies and then just cut out little elements from each of these napkins. So I'm going to get a bird and a couple of flowers, and I am going to Mod Podge them directly onto the bottle. I just want to give it a little more of an interesting, kind of a shabby chic look.
It's a hard thing to know.
Sometimes when we Mod Podge, we'll put the entire napkin or the entire tissue paper or scrapbook paper. But I think it's okay to take little elements and mix them in and just put them on, especially if you're going for a look like this. I think it's just really fun to play around and try different things. Don't be afraid to try new things. You have nothing to lose. I've got that wider piece of lace, and what I'm going to do is cut it down to size, and I'm just going to make it a little piece that you stick in behind the bottle when you put the bottle back in, just to add a little of that lacy feel to it and that feminine touch. And I think it's cute. I mean, this really, I didn't have to sew. I just hot glued it down. This really could not be any easier. I'm going to take a little bit of this really pretty yarn that I got at Walmart, and I'm just going to tie it around the neck of the bottle, around the threads, and make a cute little bow. I just really wanted to add just that extra little touch, and I put the florals in from the Dollar Tree right into the bottle. Again, super simple, you guys. This is just so basic and easy. And I would say, even if you found a piece that looked different than this, anything that you could put the flowers in or that you could Mod Podge on, it would work. This was so fun. Dollar Tree canvas, a couple pieces left over from an old Dollar Tree sign, and some other supplies as I go. And I'm going to also use that folk art yellow paint. I'm going to paint just around the edges of this canvas because you won't really see the rest anyway. I'm going to dry it with my heat tool, always down in my Amazon store. I'm also going to paint the edges. And then I'm going to take those two little circles and I'm going to use these napkins that I got at Dollar General for $1. Aren't they cute? And they're 2-ply, so I'm going to pull them apart. I'm just going to cut out the part with the pattern on it. I'm going to use some white Kills primer, and I'm going to paint the back of those. But first I'm going to put some of the Mod Podge down because it's ripped. It's going to absorb the paint so much. By putting a layer of Mod Podge down, I help that. So I put my regular, primer paint on there. Now I'm going to trace where they're going to be on the canvas and cut my napkins accordingly. Then I'm going to use the Mod Podge and lay down the napkins on both sides of that paint. And then I'll cover the top, of course, with the Mod Podge as well. Then I'm going to take my circles and I'm going to use another set of napkins that I got at Dollar General that were also very cute. 2-ply as well, so I'm going to separate them. And this one says Squeeze the Day and it has a cute lemon on it. I'm going to cut those apart because I want to use them separately. So I'm going to put Squeeze the Day on one of those circles, and then on the other one I'm going to take 2 of those lemons, and I'm also putting another coat of the white paint because I could see that it really needed it. Now I'm going to use a nail file to go around the edges after the napkin has dried and then get rid of that excess. Now I'm cutting out the other lemons and I'm going to Mod Podge those to the other circle. There'll be 2 of those. Do the same exact process. This one didn't hang over, so I didn't have to sand anything. And then I'll just cover them both in Mod Podge. And then I'm going to cut out 2 little smaller lemon pieces from the napkin, and I'm going to put it above and below the Squeeze the Day circle that I made. Once that's all done, I'm going to use my yellow, it's actually called lemon yellow, Arteza paint marker. I'm going to go around the edges of those circles so they aren't bare, and then let a little bit hang over to the front. And then I'm going to hot glue the 2 circles onto the canvas. Isn't this turning out cute? I'm going to take some painter's stir sticks that I got at Lowe's, and it was just $1 for 10. I'm going to measure where I need to cut them for the width of this canvas. I'm going to use my little miter shears and cut them, and then I'm going to hot glue them to the top and bottom. And I did sand around the edges of the stir sticks after I cut them so they wouldn't be sharp. And I'm not going to stain them. I like this color, the natural wood with the light yellow sign. I think it looks really cute. I'm going to turn it over and do my usual hang around the back, a little piece of rope, hot glue, and some masking tape. And then this one looks so good. I'm just going to touch up the spots that didn't have Mod Podge on the front, and this one's done. This will go so well with my other lemon decor, and I really hope you guys like it as much as I do. a little round tag from the Dollar Tree and some watermelon napkins that I found also at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use this white chalk paint from Home Decor, and I'm going to paint one side of this after I remove the little string. I didn't want the black underneath the napkin that I'm using to decoupage because then it would show through and it would affect the colors of the napkin. Now I'm going to take the napkin out, and I need to separate it because it's more than one ply, and so that's what I'm doing right now. And then I literally am going to put some Mod Podge on the little tag, and then I'm going to set the napkin right on top, and I'm going to use my brayer and attach it, try to get rid of any bubbles.
It's a hard thing.
Once that dries, I'm just going to very gently rip the napkin off, pushing down, and then I will have my whole entire tag covered. I'm going to poke a hole where there was already a hole, and then I'm going to add Mod Podge to the top. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to trim around the edges and make sure that I get all of the little stray pieces and rough edges off there. So I'm going to trim some little pieces that were from the rind part of the napkin, and I'm attaching them. I don't end up liking how that looks, so even though I did go ahead and do it, I Mod Podged over the top, and then I took out my paint, and I just filled in where the rind should be with the green and then with the sage, and then I made the little layer with the white, and I think it looks a lot better now that I painted it. I should have just done that from the beginning, but that's how it goes sometimes. Turn the tag over, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint it all green and then use the sage to create the other lines on the rind of the watermelon. I didn't need to paint it white because the green covers the black perfectly.
That your soul will stay hollow.
Now I'm going to take some beads that I got from Amazon, which were wonderful. They're in my Amazon store. And I'm doing 4 of each color, so the green and the white and the red. And I'm just putting them on a skewer stick to make it easier to paint them. And of course, I dry everything in between. I just don't show you every time I do that. And then I'm going to string them on some jute twine. I'm going to put a little piece of tape on the end so it's easier to string them. And I'm just going to do a pattern of green, white, and red. I'm going to repeat that until I've used all of them. And then I'm going to stick the end of the jute twine right through the hole on the tag, and I'm going to attach that with a knot. Next, I'm going to make a tassel. Basically, I'm taking 3 different kinds of twine, and I'm going to wrap it around my fingers. The skinniest one I'm going to do 30 times. The next one I think I'm going to do 15 times, and this last one I'm only going to do like 10 times, only because they're thicker. And I just kept them all separate with a little clip. And now I'm kind of merging them together because I wanted to have all these different colors. I didn't want it to just be the jute twine. And once I do that, I'm going to put it through the loops, and then I'm going to tie that, so now it'll be attached to the garland. And then I'm going to tie a string around just the top portion, and then I'll go and I will snip all the other loops open, and I'll give them a trim because they're all over the place since I used all different kinds of twine, and you know, it just didn't come out even, which is fine. I'm going to make it look great when it's all said and done. Then the last thing I'm going to do is just wrap some more of the regular jute twine around a few times just to thicken up that little section that I have tied off. And I think it looks really cute, and I love all the different colors. Please let me know what you think, and I hope you guys really like it as much as I do. Lemon napkins from the Dollar Tree, some buffalo check tissue paper I got from Michael's, and a Valentine's sign that I got at the Dollar Tree. And just removing the little metal hearts, and then I'm going to pull out the rope in the back and the staples. And then I'm going to sand down the holes and fill them with a little bit of spackle. And once that's dry, I'm going to sand it down, and then I'm going to put some tape on the very back and just to hold the 2 pieces together, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to run a bead of hot glue down the middle. And then when you're done, you just remove the tape, and if there's any glue there, you just kind of sand it down, and now I've got my 2 pieces together. Now, I don't trust the hot glue, so I'm going to also put 2 ends of the paint stir sticks that I had cut off from a different project. Now I'm going to paint this with my Kills White primer. and I'm going to give it a good coat of paint. I am going to be covering it with the tissue paper, but I don't want to see that MDF color coming through. I want to see the white coming through. I'm going to measure out how much I need of this buffalo check tissue paper, and once I have it, I'm going to use some Mod Podge and I'm going to lay a coat down, and then I'm going to put down my tissue paper as carefully as possible.
It's a hard thing to know.
And I'm going to gently use my brayer tool to run over the top and get rid of as many wrinkles and bubbles as possible. And then I'm going to sand the edges and make sure there isn't any hangover of the tissue paper. Now I've got that lemon napkin. It's a 2-ply, so I'm going to remove the 1-ply from the back, and then I'm going to try to flatten out the folds that are already there. And then I'm going to position it, and you can already kind of see the circle because I tried one and made a mistake. Anyway, long story, it's over with. I fixed it. And now I'm just going to use Mod Podge and attach this one the right way.
That your soul will stay hollow.
Because this napkin is so thin, I'm not going to use my brayer. I'm not even going to use saran wrap in a brayer because it comes right through and it's wet already. So you have to just be super gentle. Use your fingers, keep them as dry as possible, and touch it as lightly as possible. But if you can get them to stay, the effect is very nice. And super gently, I'm going to sand on the edges to get the excess napkin off. I don't want to pull it or anything. So now I'm going to use some Waverly ink chalk paint, which is like black. I didn't have black letters that would work for this, so I am painting gold and blue letters black. And I'm now going to position my letters. And I also needed 5 E's, and out of 2 packages, I only had 3 E's. But I did have 2 extra C's, so I used the C's and then I use a marker and I turn them into E's. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. You have to get resourceful here. I didn't want to run out to the store. And what this is going to say is squeeze the day. And here I come with my Sharpie filling in the little E's. It actually works out really well to do this. So if you ever have this problem, you know how to fix it now. I'm going to put some Mod Podge over the words because I don't want any of that paint to peel off, and this will just seal it very nicely for me. So I'm going to make like 3 layered bow. Literally, I'm just making 3 bows, and I'm using the twist die to stack them. So it starts off as a smaller bow, a medium-sized bow, and then a bigger bow behind. And then I'm going to take the little lemony bow right here, and I'm going to cut a little piece and wrap it around the middle to hide the little twisty tie thing. And then once it's all done, I'm going to take the ends, I'm going to dovetail them with my scissors. I'm also going to put a dab of hot glue under each of the ribbons so that they stay away from the letters and they don't cover them up. And that way you can see all the different ribbons together. Probably should have placed the bow a little bit higher, so I felt like there's a gap there, and I took another one of those little sticker decals and I just put it there. It was just a little lemon. And then I made a little hanger for the back where I put the little rope down, some hot glue, and some masking tape. And then I'm going to get out my craft paper and I'm going to cover the back and then make a little slit for that hanger to come out. I just had a few scraps of buffalo check ribbon left over, so I decided to do a line on the very top and the bottom, and I thought that looked super cute, so I'm happy I did that. But I still felt like there was something missing. So I got this black kind of poly rope that you can get at the Dollar Tree in the automotive section, and I hot glued it all the way around all 4 edges, and then I felt like the sign was done. Thank you so much for watching. You are truly a blessing to me. Let me know which one was your favorite today. And if you've had fun, I've got another video on the screen that you can click on and you can hang out with me some more. So if you do, I will see you there. Till next time, bye.